Okay, Lowe's 2618, customer Tenut. This is a remodel of a kitchen of a home from the 90s that has never had a remodel. So they went ahead and gutted the cabinets, pulled the tile, plugged all of the old places where the sheetrock was damaged by the tile, and we're to the point now to go ahead and measure. The customer is getting the floors totally resanded, restained. All of that will be no footprint. But a couple things that I'm looking at here. The first thing, just to remind the customer, these three valves or the three openings need to have some 3/8 inch brass caps with some Teflon tape put on them. There's evidence where you've had a leak right there, but these are 20-year-old valves. The rubber's been sitting in chlorinated water for 20 plus years. In the middle of the night when no one's looking, this thing can pop loose and start spraying water everywhere in your home. So just for peace of mind, either replace these valves with new ones or go ahead and get some caps to go on these. They're $2, $3 a piece, $6 worth of caps, and you can sleep better at night. So that really needs to be capped off since it's an old valve. Now, being said, on the walls, we have under cabinet lighting wires, and those are all lining up just fine as far as the new layouts. But the first thing I need to show you on this wall here, there's 51 inches of cabinet, no problem. 51 inches of cabinet on the base, no problem. There's 54 inches to the edge of the trim. The only thing I notice at 51 inches, and this is for your tile wall, at 51 inches, the center of 51 inches is right through the center of these outlets, through these switches. So you may want to consider 48 inches. Let me look at that again on that reveal. You may want to consider, so that's about 7 inches, 7.5 inches from the actual molding. The tile either needs to go to the end of the trim here or to the other side. And if you go 51 inches, it's going to be right in the center. So talk to your designer about where you want that to be at for the length of the upper and lower cabinets. So your tile work will look right when you're done there. Now the other lines here, the wires here are all fine. One thing we did look at is this stove. 54 inches is the center of the stove from the left-hand side for the original stove that was here. If you take a look up here, the outlet for the microwave is in the correct place. The outlet for the stove on the bottom is correct. The customer is talking about having a gas stove put here. And because of that, I told him to double check his stove's PDF. In that PDF, there's actually going to be an actual placement of where that pipe needs to be. It'll be something like 3 by 7 inches or something, and so far away from the wall. If that pipe is anywhere near the center or not in that gray shaded area, your stove will not push all the way back to the wall. So make sure that you work with the customer about this placement, that we know for sure where the center is going to be. I'm estimating it at 54 inches, but if he needs to move that 3 inches right or 3 inches left, that's fine. These outlets right here have plenty of room, and I give you measurements to where they are, to where that will actually work. Now, on the wall as well, in the original layout of the cabinets, you can see right here, the original cabinet stopped 12 inches back from the end of the wall. So this is 132 1/4. The original cabinet stopped at 120 1/4. The reason that's significant is that if you look at how this footprint on the floor is, see how the back of the cabinet line comes out right here and how the pipes are only about 4 inches inside that cabinet line? Well, if you start right here at the back of this wall and you push that cabinet line back all the way to the corner, then these pipes are going to end up in the front of your sink base. In other words, we definitely need to change this orientation of cabinets over here to be starting at 12 inches back, 120 1/4 or so that these pipes line up with where the original cabinet box was. Now that's going to have a benefit in two ways. The cabinet right here at 24 inches deep has a 12-inch extension cabinet on the back of it. And so at 12 inches, if you come off the back of where this was, 12 inches actually comes in before the corner of the wall on the outside. It doesn't hang over into the other room. In the design I've seen today, the actual cabinets hang past this, which means that your countertop would actually be over here past the outside wall. And the customer said he would much rather have that come up even with the outside corner of that 4.5 inch thick wall. And the only way to do that is to step these cabinets back about 12 inches to make sure that that 12 inches of additional cabinets on the back ends up being inside of that wall line. So I hope that makes sense. The other thing was in the original kitchen, and from this corner of the cabinets to here is about 42. Of course, this is the toe kick, which is only 21 inches deep. The original cabinets were probably around 36 to 39 inches wide here, and that's still fine. ADA compliant is 36, so we should be good as far as that goes. But one thing I did notice here is that this toe area is 48 inches long, which would have been 45 inches of face frame. So the original cabinets would have had about a 9-inch or a 6-inch cabinet right here at the end. And that's important because the apron mounted sink that's going to be in this one would only have a 3-inch wide return down the side of it. And I don't know if the granite company would actually build that because of how fragile that would be on that return for the sink. So one of the things we talked about was moving the sink to the left, justifying it like it was originally right to the corner, and then having about 6 inches or 9 inches of space here. Turn the corner with an end panel. That's what that block on the floor was, where they actually nailed an end panel, and then there's where your dishwasher was. And if you actually look, there was a small cabinet between the dishwasher and the stove. Enough for that side. This side over here, we are 120 inches from the corner of the room over here at the fridge all the way to the vent. So our 116 to 118 is our maximum length on our cabinets for this wall. If you take a look over here on this wall is 23 3/4 inches. So a 24-inch cabinet would actually hang out past the front. We need to make sure we reduce the depth of that cabinet to 23 inches, and then we'll pad it forward with material till we get to the front edge of the wall. If you take a look up through here, the wall has got kind of a kick to it, a little bow to it in the middle. So we definitely want that extra inch in there so we don't have to worry about that. Now, ideally, a 21-inch deep cabinet would work better there because you actually have room for the crown molding return above it, because again we need about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches for the crown return. But we do not need a wall end panel on the right hand side. You see we've got a water box here on the right hand side, so we have the wall to attach the cabinet to. There's no reason for an end panel to go there, and it would get in the way of the water box. 38.5 inches or so here to 40 inches would be fine for the fridge. In fact, if you look, I told them this area here will definitely need to be finished as far as sheetrock, because it will show. It was where the original was cut out. The original space here was only 38 inches to that line. So having 40 inches there is quite a bit more room than what they had before. Top alignment for your cabinets is about 105 inches in this room. If you're going to do the taller cabinet line, if you're going to stack cabinets, with KraftMaid, you'll go to the 102, 105 inch mark. They want to put lighting in the top of those 2 glass cabinets that are here. And so I told them to make sure that the wire was above 105 inches, at least a 6-foot lead hanging out of the wall. And then that would go across the tops of the cabinets wherever they wanted to put that lighting in there. Center line of the glass cabinet is here. And so these wires work out fine underneath it, and they're going to omit the telephone jack here at the end. As far as the layout on the floor, again, there's no footprint to deal with, so no problems there. The other cabinets on this wall here, again, we don't have that. We want to make sure that we don't center that switch with our tile line if we can help it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to give me a call at 423-650-1051. Let me step back here real quick, give you another quick look of the room. There's your room area. Have a great day.